Hello, FlossTube, and welcome to my 2024 WIP Parade. WIP stands for Work in Progress. It's been a little while since I've been here. I'll give you a little information about myself and then a small, brief life update to help explain why I've been away for a little bit. My name is Cindy. I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. I have two grown sons, two wonderful grandsons that I'm lucky enough to have live in the same town, so we get to see them a lot. I just retired in November. I was a computer programmer for Dillard's department stores, and I worked there for 32 years. So I just retired in November. Unfortunately, I haven't really figured out what retirement is like yet. The reason I haven't been here is right before Thanksgiving, my mom, she had been battling cancer for the fourth time. And sorry, I'm going to try and make it through this. She took a turn for the worse. The chemo was just too much for her. So I went up to Kansas, where I'm from, spent about 2.5 weeks there with her and my dad. She passed at the beginning of December. And so all my plans for December just went out the window. So I wasn't able to come and bring you a recap for November like I had planned. December, I wanted to do Flossmas. I had the historical sampler advent box, which was a great box. I'm going to get it again next year. I was going to show you that every day and spin a wheel to stitch on something Christmas every day, and none of that happened. So I decided, rather than trying to do a video of November and December updates and a WIP parade and a plans video, I would just do a WIP parade. So I have my stats for the whole year. I don't have in front of me the stats for November and December. So it is what it is. This is just where I had to start. So that's all I can say about that. So we will get started. I'm going to start with some finishes. I forgot to count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I had 12 finishes in 2024, and total of counting those 12 finishes, I have 55 projects that I worked on in the year. So I have more WIPs than that I didn't work on in 2024. So all I'm showing you today are the ones that I worked on in the past year. So we'll start with finishes. I did these in alphabetical order. I know a lot of people do them in oldest start date to newest. I did them in alphabetical order by the design title. So that's just what I decided to do. So we'll start with my finishes. My first finish was a gift for my youngest son and his fiance at the time when they got married in the summer. And it's called The Adventure Begins, and it was one I got off of Etsy. And I don't remember the designer. I believe, I haven't looked lately, but the last time I checked it was still available. But I'll put a picture in of what it looks like. I was hoping I would not have to edit this, but I tried showing the full coverage pictures on my iPad or on my tablet, and there's just too much glare from the ring light, so I'll have to edit. Okay, so my next finish is Bird in Hand Halloween. This is by, I believe, Heart in Hand. I don't have all of the details in front of me either. This is one I had started. I do have some of that in October of 2020, and then I finished it September of this year. So it's a lot more vibrant than it shows when you put it close up. It kind of washes out. So that is my next finish. Excuse me, just a minute. Go ahead, tickle. All right, this next finish is it's by Shepherd's Bush. It's called Charmed Hearts. It was a kit. It's so old. I don't know when I started it, but I finished it June of this year. So it's probably not one I would start again. My tastes have changed, of course, over the years. This is going to be probably more than 12 years ago, because I think the earliest dates I saw that I had started things was like 2012. And so before that, I must not have kept up. So it's at least 12 years ago. But it's very pretty. And I was so close. I just had to finish the border and put the charms and the beads on. This next one is, again, so old, I don't know when I started it. This is Cinderella is Proof. This is a Lizzie Kate design. It was a kit. And I finished it in August of this year. This one I really do still love. I don't know where I'll put it, but I'll finish it somehow and put it up. It's on the kit fabric, so I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't have any of the details in front of me, so I may not be able to give you as much fabric information as I usually do. But that was a fun one. It's a really stiff linen, as you can see, very stiff. All right, next is Halloweeny. This is, I believe, also a Lizzie Kate. I started this in October of 2021 and finished it September of this year. It's a really cute one. And I think, yeah, the owl has little buttons and beads for his eyes. So that'll be a fun one to finish. I don't know how I'll finish it. So I also have a whole stash of things that I had finished in previous years that I've never fully finished. This is #Joy. This is by Hands On Design. I started it November 1st of this year and finished it November 9th of this year. Let me pull it back a little bit so you can get the colors. And this is on 32 count platinum by Zweigart. So this was, whoops, one of the Jingle Ball classes that I signed up for. I did not get to attend any of Jingle Ball. My mom passed away on the day it all started and I was out of town. So at some point I need to go watch those because I have 2 of my 3 classes stitched. So I need to go fully finish them. All right. The next finish is Hedgehog and Hyacinth. It's by the Blue Flower, and I'll have to put a picture in of it. It was a gift to my mother for her birthday, so I took it to her in the middle of November when I went to visit then. So she got to open it and enjoy it for a little while anyway. And then after that, so Hedgehog and Hyacinth, I started in August of this year and finished August 14th and finished August 25th. So just about 10 days. It's not a very big one, but it turned out super cute. So I'll put a picture in of what it looks like. This is Pretty Little San Francisco by Satsuma Street. So I started this one in January of 2020 and finished it in August of this year. Yeah, see, it's much more vibrant colors. It gets kind of washed out when you bring it up closer. So this one I've made for my oldest son and wife, daughter-in-law. They went to San Francisco for their honeymoon. They've been married a little over 5 years now. So I'll have to do something with it. I may try and frame it myself. Just trying to cut, since I'm retired, just trying to cut down on some of the costs. This one is called Santa Collection number 3. It's I got it on Etsy. I think it's My Fanny, and it is still available because I just looked at it the other day to see what others she had. And so this one I started it December 23rd of this year and finished it December 29th. And it's one I wanted to do kind of in memory of my mom. She loved cardinals and she loved Santas. So I know she would have loved this one. And when I originally bought it, it was one I purchased with the plan of making it for her someday. So, and then one last finish. This is my other Jingle Ball class that I finished. This is Winter Woodland by Hello from Liz Matthews. This one I do not have ironed. I started it November 12th of this year and finished it November 22nd. And I did, excuse me, I did work on it while I was sitting with Mom. No, I worked on it when I was up there earlier in November. She saw me working on it, and so I sent Dad a picture or sent my sister a picture so she could see it finished. So that one will be finished into a star shaped with beads all around it. That one I'm not sure. It seems like it might be a little difficult, but all right. Those are all my finishes. There were a couple I couldn't find, so I did finish one called March Quilt. And I think that was Primrose Cottage. I took another quilt pattern and just did it all in greens. And I don't know, it's somewhere here, but I couldn't put my hands on it. And the other one was Professor Snow E Day. And that was one I had received in Tulsa at one of their events years ago. It's real small. So if I find those and get them fully finished, you'll see them then. All right, so now we're gonna do the WIPs, all the others that I worked on this past year. I will try and do a plans video. I'm hoping to film it tomorrow. Today is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. So I hope to do a plans. I have, my notes are down here. That's why I keep looking down. So I hope to film a plans video tomorrow on Friday. I'm hoping I can get this one put up today. I seem to always have problems with room on my phone. I edit them in iMovie on my phone, and then there never seems to be enough space to download it so I can actually upload it to YouTube. So hopefully I will get that done today. We'll see. A little bit of plans I will tell you, just because I'm going to talk about it as I go through this. I have some projects that I have flagged as focusing on finishing them. So there are ones that I think they're close enough I could finish them this year. I don't make any I don't pretend at all that I'm not going to start anything else. I'm going to try to not start anything unless I finish 2 of these, but no promises. I'm in WIP Warriors, but the first year I was in the 23 and 23, because last year I did Stitch Whatever You Want. And that was tough. I couldn't start anything until I'd finished something else. So last year I changed it to, they call it SWEWE, which is just stitch whatever you want, whenever you want. And I'm doing that this year. But I am trying to focus on some of these that I think I can finish, so I can get some of these off my list. And if I wait until I finish 2 to start another one, that will get my WIP count down a little, because I have a lot of WIPs. Now, it doesn't bother me. They'll call it a process stitcher, so I love the act of stitching. If I don't get them all finished, it's not going to break my heart. Now, there are some I do want to get finished, but all right, I think I have unzipped all of these, so hopefully you won't have to listen to zippers. Oh, here's the Hedgehog and Hyacinth that I had finished. That was one of my finishes. That was the one I gave to my mom. Okay, here is my WIP. This is Acorns by the Blue Flower. And this is on my list of focusing on finishing. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put these after I show them. And it's 3/4 done, I would say, easily. This is on 32 count Bramble by Picture This Plus. And I somehow have extra. Sometimes they'll just give me extra at the cross stitch store if it was going to be such a skinny piece. They don't really want to cut it off. So I really just have that bottom corner to finish and it will be done. So that is on my list of things to get done this year. Let me see if I can just put them in the back. I have 3 bins. Sorry if I'm out of, whoa, sorry, and I just shook the camera. All right, I'm a little out of practice. I haven't done this for a little while. All right, we'll just do our best. This is, oh, I forgot to tell you, Acorns I started on August 31st, 2023. So if I know the start date, I'll tell you. This is Anzac by Long Dog. I think this is my only Long Dog that I have started. This is what it will look like. So my parents lived in Australia twice for 6 months, and I was fortunate enough to go visit them, to go with them one time for a few weeks. Beautiful place. Would love to go back. I don't think I'll ever convince my husband to fly over there, so I'll have to go with somebody else. This is on 32 count Platinum Lugana, and I'm stitching it with Brown Bear from Gentle Arts. And so this is all I have done. I wanted to do it just monochromatic. But I've got a couple of koalas in there, some kind of lizard. I'm not sure what that thing is coming in there. This is not on my list to get done this year. It is a big one. I am going to put everything back in their bags so I don't lose anything. But I'll try not to do any zipping. All right. Next, did I tell you when I started on Jack? I think so. April of this year. This is Autumn is as Joyful. This is from Leela's Studio. It's another big one. I was supposed to be doing a certain amount every month so that I could have it finished by next fall, and I have fallen down on that. I have not done it. I started this August 18th of this year, and it's going to be beautiful. All right. Let's see. This is on 32 count old stationery by hand dyed by Stephanie. And this, whoops, is what I have done so far. And I did do like a little bit of back stitching in those leaves. I haven't done this one yet because it just made them look so much better. So again, not one that I'm going to get done this year. I'm trying to keep my laptop awake. It's what my ring light is plugged into, and every once in a while I have problems with my ring light just shutting off. And I don't know if it's because the laptop goes to sleep or what. All right, next is Bat Banner. This is by Alessandra Adelaide. And I'm not doing it on this color fabric. I started this in October of 2012. And no, I haven't been telling you any stitches. I apologize. Acorns, I did 665 stitches this year. Anzac 956. Autumn is as Joyful 1768. This one I did 704, so it was just one that came out from one of the prompts or something. And so this is where I am. I'm doing mine on, I don't know what this is. This went at my old LNS and they didn't put the fabric name on there. And I did not account for this wing, so that's why there's so much more border on this side, because I was counting 3 inches from here and I didn't think about that wing coming out, but I think it'll still be okay. So there's still a decent amount on this, not so much on the sides, but then there's a whole nother bat and stuff at the top. So I didn't mark it as one I could get done this year. And the ones that I'm not planning on focusing on, I don't have plans specifically to stitch on them this year. That doesn't mean that, you know, if I decide I want to, I won't get it out. It's just not on my plans at the moment. This is not working to put them in the back. Okay, next is the first full coverage to show you. This is Beachcomber's Bounty. And I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like when it's done. I stitched 2,357 stitches on this year, and that put it at 2.22%. I won't have percents on anything else, but on my full coverage, I will. Just trying to fold it up so I can show it to you a little easier. So I started this on the diagonal, and then I went to Royal Rose, and now I'm going back to the diagonal. I decided I didn't like all of this. That doesn't mean I won't change my mind and go back. But you can always already see some starfish up there. Now there is one full coverage I'm hoping to finish this year. It's a quick stitch one that I started years ago. But none of the rest of mine do I have any plans of finishing this year. This one I started on May 1st, 2022. So in May of 2022, I did Mania, where I started a new full coverage every Sunday in the month. Okay, I can wrangle some of this. All right, next is Betsy's Halloween Basket. This is by Pansy Patch. And I stitched 733 stitches on it this year. And this is one I'm hoping to finish next year. I have several Halloween ones that I think I could finish. This is on 32 count 18th century blackboard. I'm not sure, they didn't write down who that's by. So I didn't iron anything. This is where I am now. Really fun, bright colors. And I did it on this. I think the design called for murky. Yeah, but I did it on this blackboard. The murky looks good too. All right. Next. Well, I have a mess to put away when I'm done. Next is Block Party Home. So this is a hands-on design. So this one I also have on my list to finish this year. So I have finished the bottom or the sides of it. It doesn't, 28 count dirty linen. So I finished the bottom or the sides. Obviously needs to be ironed. I can't see. Hopefully you can kind of see that. It's pretty much just a repeat. That's the other half. So I finished the side of it, but I need to do this top part. So that's what I think I'll finish this year. And I don't think this one has any stitching on the bottom. And then I'll have to learn how to put it together, which I know Kathy has really good tutorials. All right. What a mess. Next, so Block Party Home, do I have, I don't know when I started. Oh, no, I don't know when I started it. It was so long ago. Okay, this one is called Blue Jeans and Daisies. It's from Blue Ribbon. I started it in March of 2013. I did 1,061 stitches on it this year. On Block Party, I did 1,081. This is what it will look like when it's done. So it came in 3 parts, and I haven't even finished part 1, I don't think. So it's going to be a big one. And I don't have any before pictures. I'm not going to try and do that. That's just too much. But I know I finished this tree this year. See if I can wrangle it. This tree down here, and then I came up here and did this umbrella and the alphabet. I think that was it. I think that was all I worked on this year. Again, no specific plans to work on it this year. It's hard to remember this year or last year since we're just the second day of this year. And that is on probably the called for. I don't remember. Let's see. 30 count blue jeans from Weeks Dye Works. Yes, I believe that's what it's on. That was a long time ago when I started that, so I pretty much did whatever it called for. All right, next is Bord de Mer. This is a Madame Lefay. Just trying to make room. I started this one in August of 2019, and I did 762 stitches on it this year. Well, let me show you what it's going to look like when it's done. I wish I could put this on my list, but I think there's just too much left to do. a decent amount done, but there's still quite a bit. And I am in a bunch of Facebook groups, so it's possible that some of these could come out if I need some prompt, like if I need a lantern or an anchor or something. So this is where it is. I'm about half done maybe. And I know this year I worked on this coral over here. I may have done a little bit of the border, I can't remember, but mostly that red coral. All right. Next is Butterfly Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews. This one I started on my birthday this year, so May of last year, 2024. It's one that I've been wanting to start for a long time, and I really would like to stitch on it some more. This is what it will look like when it's done. I love butterflies. And actually my mom and dad gave this to me for Christmas or birthday. So I started it in May of this year, and I did 609 stitches. So it's even kind of hard to see. That's all. Like I said, I would like to work on that some more. Again, no promises one way or the other on these ones that I don't have planned to finish, but I really do want to work on that one some more, which I'm sure you hear from everybody when they're doing their WIP parades. Oh, I really would like to work on that. All right, next is Butterfly Garden. This one I started in January of 2014, and I put 922 stitches on it this year. So it's a long, skinny one. This is the whole thing. I'm going to show you up close a little bit. And the other end around. So this year I worked over here. I think I had the house finished, and so I think I did these two areas. So I'm over halfway done, but it's not on my list. If this is by the Drawn Thread, I didn't even show you, did I? And I don't know what this is on. This is what it will look like when it's all done. So I'm over halfway done. That house is in the middle, and I've done a couple to this side of the house, so I just have this left. But they have specialty stitches. A lot of the flowers, I'll show you these ones close up again. A lot of the flowers are specialty stitches, so it's kind of fun. It's something a little bit different. And some of those butterflies are over one, which is not as fun, but it really looks nice. Again, no specific plans to work on that one. All right, let's see. All right, and the next one is Celebrate the 4th of July. This is a Madame Chantilly. This is my first one of these to do, and I started it on July 4th of this year, and I did 1,423 stitches. This is what it will look like when it's done. I have a bunch of these. I don't know if I have them all yet. And I know this is on Heroic, 32 count Heroic. That's a Picture This Plus, and it has blues and reds in it. There you can see kind of, and that's how much I got done. Yeah, I have most of those, if not all of them, but I don't know when I'll get back to it. All right, next is, I call it Christmas Robin Stitch Along. I think it's like Patchwork Christmas Robin. It's the Historical Sampler Society's Christmas stitch along from 2024. I'll have to put a picture in of what it will look like when it's finished. But I started this on November 9th of 2024, and I stitched 863 stitches. And this is on the provided fabric. I think it's called Sage. It's really a lot of fun. It's very bright and cheery. My friend Michelle, we started this kind of together. She's finished hers. That's all the farther I got. That's all right. It is on my list to finish next year. I would like to finish it. All right, let's see. I think there's a couple more in this. In this bin. This is my oldest WIP. I have no idea when I started it. It's called Church Street. It's by Barbara and Cheryl. It is full coverage. It's so old that it's on Ada, and I don't stitch on Ada anymore. But since it was full coverage and I had so much done, I was like, well, I'm not stopping now. So I did pull this out for some challenge. This is how much I have done totally. So I don't know how much is done. A third at least, probably. Let me show you up close. It's a beautiful piece. The back stitching, like in this gate, is just amazing. But this year I worked down in here. So that's where how many did I say I did? 941 stitches. That's where they came from. Again, no plans to try and finish this one this year. But I would like to finish it someday because it is beautiful. I have a bunch of their patterns that I would like to do, but I think they're all pretty much full coverage like that. All right. Oh, two more, I think, in this bin. And then, so I have 3 bins. I can't remember if I told you that. 3 bins total. This one is Deadly Aquarium. This is by Lola Crow. I'll have to put a picture in of what it will look like when it's finished. I stitched, let's see, when did I start this? In May of 2024, and I stitched 1,103 stitches. So that's how much I got done, not just part of the frame and a couple of those little goals up there. This is on 32 count Arctic by Picture This Plus. It's really a fun one. I think, so I've started all of her last stitch along. So there was first the Haunted Library, and then Greenhouse of Oddities, and then this was the 3rd one, Deadly Aquarium. And I think this one or the Haunted Library are my favorite. I like the Greenhouse of Oddities too, but I love reading and I love ocean stuff. So those are my 2 favorites. All right. Let's see. Next is Fairy Autumn Glow. This is the last one in this bin. Let's see if we can get some of this moved so I can actually move the bin off when I'm done with it. Get it out of the way a little bit. Oh, what a mess I'm going to have to put away. All right, this is, nope. Oh, that was the last one. Sorry, that was the last one. Time to change bins, because that's back to acorns that you've already seen. All right. I'm going to try not edit this any more than I have to, so bear with me. Okay. Oh, man. Sorry, number 2 is over here on the floor. One moment. Now the question is, which way does it go? Nope, that way. Okay. Sorry about that. I think I shook the table again. All right, we're ready now. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So this is Fairy Autumn Glow. This is Nora Corbett. That's what it will look like when it's finished. I started this in August of 2011. All right, so maybe that's the oldest date I have. And I did 354 stitches on it this year, so not too many. But this is one I would like to get finished. Or I did that many last year. Sorry, there's a hanging thread on there. I would like to get it finished this year. This is on 32 count beach walk, which I believe is the called for fabric. But it's very vibrant colors. It's harder, it looks, you can see the colors better back there. But I've got a decent amount to go. And then all the beads, of course. All right. Next is my other Jingle Ball class that I did not get done. It had a lot of stitching on it. This is Festive Forest by the Blue Flower. And that's what it will look like when it's finished. And I started this, I think December 1st. Yes, December 1st of last year, while I was sitting with my mom. And I did 4,297 stitches. I spent a lot of time just sitting. She was in a care facility at the end, and so I just sat in there with her and stitched. She used to stitch too, and so she liked to see what I was doing. I started on this reindeer's feet 3 times, I think it took me to get those right. So I was glad I got to show her the completed reindeer before she passed. She didn't get to see the hedgehog. She loved hedgehogs. I would love to have shown her that, but it still has a lot to go. So I'm going to have to just watch that video. And I think Janine sent some emails. I haven't gotten through all my emails yet. So I'll watch the video, like maybe print out her instructions and watch the video and take notes. Because there's no way I'm going to get that stitched before our time is up to watch the video. All right, next is another full coverage. This is the Grand Library. This was one I couldn't wait to start. Another one that I started in May of 2022 when I was doing my Mania and starting a new full coverage every Sunday in May. This was my favorite, so I started this one on my birthday. And this one I have not gotten back to since I started going back to. So this is, I stitched 1,050 stitches on it. Started in May of 22, and it's 1.76%. So I did diagonal, then I did royal rose, then I did just wherever the thread took me. And now I'll go back to diagonal probably. I like that because it has such a nice clean line, and I guess I like that instead of all these dangling threads. All right. Next, these are falling. Okay, you're so big, you're just gonna go on the floor. What is next? Oh yeah, several Halloween ones. So Halloween in the City. I have like 3 Halloween ones in here. This is Halloween in the City. Oops. Let's go over here. Too many things in that bag. Halloween in the City by Croquette A Go-Go. I don't know how you pronounce her name. I apologize. This I started October of 2023, and this year I put in 869 stitches on it. So that, and this is on 32 count vintage country mocha, which I love. And that's what I have done. It's a fun one too. The border is a lot of fun. But also another big one. No plans to try and get that one done this year. Like I said, some of these may come out. You know, I may, especially Christmas, I may try and do my Christmas plans this year. There are just too many in this. Who doesn't want to go back in? All right. And then, whoops, covered up my notes. Halloween Night. So that was a new one that I started. This is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. So I started this one in September of 2024. This is what it will look like when it's finished. And I am doing this on 32 count Sprite by Picture This Plus. And it's kind of hard. It's a real pale lavender. That's how much I got done. I did 2,032 stitches on it. I think I was working on it for some prompts for something in one of my stitching games. And then the last one in here is the historical sampler stitch along somewhere in here. And I'll have to put a picture in of what it's going to look like. Oh, I'm doing it on purple. There should be another, here it is. So there should be another lavender piece of fabric in here. And I started this in July of 2024. And I did 3,219 stitches on it. And this is where I am. And is that the bottom? I don't remember now. It's a fun one too. The borders on this one are a little more challenging because you have to decide if you're going to carry, and I think I did carry a lot of mine. Yeah, that must be the bottom of it because that's the same border that goes all the way around. So I have some extra on the bottom. I think this was, I don't remember. I think it's the same. It's a 32 count Sprite from Picture This Plus. All right. I think that's all in that one. Okay. All right. Another full coverage. This is Home for the Winter. Sorry, I'm just trying to make room so I can put some of these things back in here. Home for the Winter. I don't think I even told you on the other two who the artists were. Beachcomber's Bounty and Grand Library Amy Stewart is the artist, and they're charted by Heaven and Earth. And this is Home for the Winter. This is Lucy Pittaway is the artist, and it was charted by Heaven and Earth, but it is now retired. All of hers were retired, and there were some more I would have loved to have gotten, but I didn't. So I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. This is what I've got done. I did 1,371 stitches on it this year, and it's 1.19% complete. And you won't be able to tell, but there's some Kreinik in these clouds, which hopefully I'll be able to get again someday. I didn't buy all the skeins of it I needed to start out with because I thought, well, I can just buy some more as I get them, as I need them. I think I have 2 spools of it, but I know Kreinik has been hard to come by, so we'll see when I get ready for more if I can find it. All right, and then another full coverage. I'm gonna start putting my full coverage on the floor just because they have so many threads in them. This is Hot Air Balloon Sunrise. I think is it Lars Stewart? This is a Max color. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. I can't remember who the artist is, but it's from Heaven and Earth Designs. And again, I did diagonal, then I did, I guess, just wherever I wanted to, because I don't have any part threads on this one. And this is Max Color. And I started this one in May of 2022, another part of my mania. And this is 0.89% complete. And I did 1,189 stitches on it this year. It'll be nice to get into some balloons on that one instead of just the sky. And that's one nice thing about doing diagonal. You often get into some more interesting parts sooner if you're doing them diagonal. All right, this is Pringles. I started this in April of 2020. This is by Little House Needleworks. Let me show you what it's going to look like. Oh, my full coverage are on 28 count, easy count, 1/1 full cross. Forgot to say that. This is what it will look like. I thought about changing this to say Dillard's, since Dillard's is a department store and I worked there for over 30 years. I haven't decided yet. I'm not down there. I'm going up towards the roof first to get that roof done. So I have time to figure it out. So did I tell you when I started this? April of 2020. This year I put in 876 stitches. This is where I'm at. Let me show you the center. And then what I worked on this year was this. I finished that. I think I had the girl done and the Nutcracker. I think I had those two figures done, and then I finished the rest of that block. So then next time I pick it up, I'll do some more brickwork or some of the other parts of it. So I try and alternate between working on the border stuff, the brickwork and things, and then the fun scenes inside. No plans to try and get that one done this year. All right. And the next one is another new start from 2024. This is from With Thy Needle and Thread. It's lollies, crows, and candy corn. So this is what it will look like. It's really a cute one. I had to look up because I'm like, well, yeah, there's lollipops. Yeah, there's candy corn, but what are the crows? Well, these little black candies are called crows. I'd never heard of those before. This is where I am. So I've got a decent start on this. I really just have the big pumpkin at the bottom. Sorry, there's a hanging thread on this one. I'm not sure what fabric this is on. So I just have that big pumpkin at the bottom pretty much, and then the handle around it, and it will be done. But I didn't put it on my list to try and finish this year. And I need to figure out, somebody else, and I don't remember who it was, said that sorry, let me see if I can get it without the glare. The cheeks, there you can see, kind of see it. The cheeks on that pumpkin, they said their two colors, there wasn't enough contrast, or the cheeks were lighter instead of darker. And I think mine is the same way, so I may have to find another color to do those cheeks. Did I tell you what I did on that? 960. And I started it in October of this year, or of last year. All right, next. This is from, I think it's Tempting, no, it's Rosewood Manor, sorry, Rosewood Manor. This is Oh Feathers. This is what it will look like. I started this one in April of 2021. This year I stitched 866 stitches. And this is on, I think it's called It doesn't have a thing on it. I think it's called like Tiffany blue. I don't remember. It was, here it is. It does have a sticker. Vintage Tiffany. I think it's also hand dyed by Steph. And this is what I have done. It's a really nice kind of turquoisey fabric, but not real dark. Yeah, that washes it out way too much. And I'm using the called for these things, sulkies, on it. Whoops. Did I tell you how much I stitched on it? 866. Yeah, I think I did. It's a fun one. The sulky, the really dark one, not quite like that real dark. Not quite as much coverage as I would normally like, but it'll still be beautiful when it's done someday. All right, what is next? Next is my chatelaine. Wait, no, sorry. I forgot there was a write-in. So I did a class at my LNS, which is Shepherd's Needle here in Little Rock, and it was Janine from the Blue Flower, and this is the pattern that we got. So you had a small one, you could put quotes or names. This is a family tree, and then this one had a quote and some animals. And she gave us like four other alternatives for this animal right there. I like the bear, but I'll probably do, yeah, there's the four alternatives. You can kind of see them. A cat, a dog, a beaver, I think it is. Yep. And a deer. So I'll probably do this deer as a scissor fob. I don't know how many stitches I did on this. I just did it when I was at the event. And this is on 36 count. I don't know, it might be the rustic driftwood that it calls for. Not 40 count, but it's from Extra U Designs. And so we did one strand. And that is how much I got done on this. And I think this was in October, this class, so I would have started in October of 2024. I really like it. I do want to work on it some more. I just don't know when. So yeah, that one was a write-in because it was a part of that event. And I didn't really have any stats on it. Okay, now we're ready for my chatelaine. So this is Paris Mandala. Do I have when I started this? January of 2012. This was a mystery stitch along. I think it was a mystery stitch along where you just got a part. I don't remember how often you got it. Obviously it was a long time ago, but they had two options. You could do one where you had different buildings on each side or the same buildings. I don't remember which two it was, but I wanted all the different buildings. So that's what it will look like when it's done. Like I said, I started this in January of 2012, and it's the only one I have on a scroll rod. I'm not doing any beading until it's done. How much did I do on it this year? 924 stitches. So let me see if I can loosen it a little bit and show you everything. So I do have, you can almost see it all. All right, let me just show it to you in pieces. So I have the middle all done, except for beads. I'm not going to do beads until the end. So that's all done. I need to put something behind that, don't I? I can't see what I'm showing you. Woo. This one's very awkward. And then I have one Eiffel Tower and the buildings that go with it done. Oh, I can't quite see the top of the Eiffel Tower. There you go. Now that Eiffel Tower it's a lot. It is a lot of back stitch. see if I can show you closer. It's a lot of back stitch, and it's not, you know, a straight back stitch across a square. It's, you know, it's interesting. It's challenging. And then I've been working on this building over here. So that's where I worked this year. And then I think, and I've mentioned this before when I've talked about this, I think when I get that building done, I think what I'll probably do is try and do the other Eiffel Towers and just get them done. Because I think that's part of the reason I don't work on this very much, is because I'm dreading doing all that back stitch in those Eiffel Towers again. All right, we'll worry about tightening that up later. I'll just lay it over here. It's going to be absolutely beautiful when it's done, but it will be years before it's done. It has a lot of beads. Now, I did splurge, and I bought the kit from European Cross Stitch. So I have all the silks. I have somewhere in here all the beads, which are going to be hard to see, but so I have all of that whenever I get to that point. That one's going on the floor too. It's too big. All right, next, this is by Glendon Place. This is called Plum Pudding. How are we doing on time? Just almost an hour. I started this one in April of 2013. Come on there. This is what it will look like when it's finished. Absolutely beautiful. There's a whole series of these. They're called Amazing Desserts. And I think I have them all. This is the only one I've started on. And I had to put a little T so I knew where the top was because it is symmetrical. And all of the stitching is done. Let me see if you can see the whole thing kind of. This is on, I think it's on the called for Sprite. So it's 28 count Sprite by Picture This Plus. So all of the stitching is done. And I did start some of the beading even before I finished the stitching. If you've been here before, you may have heard this. But I had a prompt where I had to do a bunch of beads. And so I just kind of started the beading on the part of this that it was done. So there's beads all in there, over here. I think there's some in there. So now I've got to finish beading the rest of it. Like all these holes that you can see there, that's where there's going to be more beads. So this is on my list to get finished this year because all it has left is the beading. And I guess I'm about 1/4 of the way done with the beading because I have that one corner done. So I have 3 more corners to do. But I would love to get that done this year. And I don't know, maybe it's one I should take to Rental Studios for framing. I bet that would be beautiful. So my friend Michelle from Canada and I are planning on going to the Shepherd's Bush retreat next year. So they do it every other year. So 2026 will be the next one. And it's been on my bucket list. It's something I've wanted to do. And so we decided we were going to do it in 2026. So I'm trying to have something done to take to Rental Studios. If you've never seen their framing, it is amazing. They do such an amazing job. So they paint on the mats. But they don't ever, all the ones I've seen have been just absolutely just breathtaking. They don't, whatever they paint goes with the design. So it's never detracting from the cross stitch. It's just, look them up. I think there's a Facebook group. I don't know if it's Rental Studios or Jill Rental, but look them up because they're amazing. And so I've always said I wanted to have something framed by them. And so maybe I'll get that Glendon Place one done. And then the other one I want to get done, I'll show you. Oh, I didn't work on it this year, so you'll see it in my plans, but it's Dressmaker's Daughter by Mirabilia. All right, this is the one full coverage that I want to get done this year because it's a quick stitch. I started this in January of 2013. And I stitched 3,021 stitches on it, and I actually do have a picture of this one. I bought it first as a paper pattern. That was before Pattern Keeper even existed. And then I repurchased it as a digital pattern because once you're on Pattern Keeper, going back to not having it is difficult. This is Josephine Wall. I believe this is a Josephine Wall. It's by Heaven and Earth Designs. So there's a partial page down below this. So this much left, and then this partial page. It is at 82.24% done. So I'm hoping I can get that finished this year. We'll see. It's on my list to try and finish. Okay, what's next? Another full coverage. This is Riverwalk Charm. So I'll have to put a picture in of what it's going to look like. The artist is Luann Manning, something like that. Heaven and Earth. And this one I started in November of 2021. And this year I stitched 1,052 stitches on it. So this is where it is. Again, I did diagonal, then I did Royal Rose. Now I'll probably go back to diagonal when I pick it up again. It is at 4.49% done. And I've seen the Stitchy Witch, she's got a lot of this done. I don't remember if she said her percentage. I just watched her WIP Parade the other day, and I don't remember if she had a percentage. She probably did, I just don't remember. And then there's another gentleman doing it, and I've forgotten his name. Of course, he started last year, and he's already a lot farther than I am. But I have so many things that I like to work on. So, you know, if I focused on some of these, I could get a lot more finished, probably. All right, let's see. That is all of that bin. All right, one moment. Let me get this one out of the way. And grab my last one. Oops, sorry. Okay. Make sure I knew which way it went. All right, this is the last one. And I hit the table again. Okay. This is Santa's House. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings. Yep. I started this on December. Oh goodness, things are stuck. December of 2023. This is what it will look like when it's finished. The running stitcher finished this house during his Flossmas. This is also one I want to get done this year. I started it, did I tell you that already? December of 2023. This year I did 1,630 stitches. This is on Vintage Stormy Night, I think, Lugana. I usually do linen, but it may have been that they didn't have linen. I don't know. But this is where I am. So I still have a lot of house left. And I'm using the called for, so there are a couple of overdyed. The kind of red in the house, let me pull that out real quick, is Ladybug from Classic Colorworks. And then the roof is Plymouth Rock by Classic Colorworks. So I'm using those two overdyed that are called for, and the rest is DMC, the called for DMC. But yeah, that one is one I'm hoping. I have all of the houses, even the bonus one, and I just love them. So I would love to finish that one this year. All right, another full coverage. This is Sea Opal. Oh, I've forgotten the Elizabeth Welker, I think that's the artist. Charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started this in May of 2022, another one of my manias. I think this is the last of my manias, I believe. And I stitched 2,184 stitches on it this year, and it is at 1.14%. Beautiful, vibrant colors. Again, I started diagonal, went to Royal Rose. We'll probably go back to diagonal. And again, it's also on 28 count, 1/1. No, I didn't serge, or I didn't, oh yeah, I did. Did I stitch the edges of this? I don't have a serger. No, I guess not. Yeah, I think I did. I don't have a serger, so I just have to zigzag. But these ones, because they take so long to stitch, they can get pretty frayed. Oh, what a mess I have around me. All right, next. We're getting there. Seasons of the Heart. Spring is the one I started. This is by With Thy Needle and Thread. So, where's the spring? Here's the spring one. I started this, sorry for the glare. I started this in January of 2024. I have fabric for all 4 of them, so let me find the one that's actually started. Where is it? Must be, here it is. So this is on 32 count vintage country mocha. And I've got 4 pieces, so I'm going to do them all on the same. And that's where I am. This is another one that I want to get finished this year. And I did, when I was in Tulsa, I purchased these little tags. Oh, that's kind of see, but they have the season. So I think I'm going to use those on the front of mine instead of cutting out the ones from the pattern. I think that'll look nice. That's the name. But I found them at the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right. Next, I'll make some room in this box. So this is one of the Quakers, seasonal Quakers from the Heart, Needle Art by Wendy. This is September. So I think I've only finished March. And I started this in September of 2022. This is on 32 count platinum. Again, I didn't iron anything. And I did 937 stitches. And I think I'm using the called for on this one. And that pink shows up better in person than it is on camera. So this one is one I mean, there's just like a big motif there and a big one here and a little one. So a couple of big ones and a small one. And I probably could finish it, but I figure at this point I had enough that I said I was going to finish this year. So, you know, if I get it finished, it'll be a bonus. All right, what's next? Now, this is an old one. This one I started in February of 2016. It was a stitch along. I think it was a mystery stitch along. And I don't think any of these have a picture of the whole thing. I think I'll have to put in a picture. Yeah. So I'll have to put in a picture of what it's going to look like when it's finished. This is Serenity Harbor by the Bay Needle Art. And I did 1,156 stitches this year. Let's just fold it. So this is where I am. I have a long ways to go. That's about half the fabric. So twice as much to go. And the top part is not very stitch heavy. And you'll see from the picture the bottom part is. So I was working down here in the boat a little bit and some of that water. And I think maybe even some of the leaves too in that area. This is Harbor Gray. It was something that was created just for this project. I don't know. I'm not sure who it was even by. Yeah, it doesn't say. I'm trying to think of that fabric dyer where it's more of a painted fabric. I can't think of the name of it now. That may have been who it was, but it was specifically for that project. All right, again, no plans to finish that one this year. All right, this is my only modern folk embroidery. This is Song of the Nightingale. Somewhere there's pattern. This is what it will look like when it's finished. And I am using these colors. It called for Roxy Floss Co. And I did order those. And let's see what fabric I'm doing it on. If it says, yes, this is a Be Stitch Me Sugar Cream Pie. And I started this, I can't remember if I told you, April of 2024. And I did 698 stitches. So that's all I got done. But it is a beautiful one. I do love it. The museum stitcher did this. I think she just finished hers in 2024, and she did it in pinks, and that was beautiful too. But I really like these blues and browns together, so I decided to do that. That was my first project using Roxy Floss Co. All right, next. This is by Heart and Hand, and it's called Square Dance, and it's a whole collection of patterns, so one for each month. So I'm working on July, I think. So I've done all those, and then I still have those to do. Sorry for the ring light. And I've done those. So I'm doing them all on one. When I was in Tulsa for a Heart and Hand event, they had this done up as a model stitch, and they had done it on one long piece of fabric. So that's what I'm doing. So still have that much left to do. And this is Vintage Country Mocha, although it doesn't seem as modeled as some of the more recent Vintage Country Mocha. But that's what it says. Let's see. I can show you the whole. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to show you. So January, February, March, April, oops, May, June, and then July is what I'm working on. July. Again, no plans to finish this one this year. Did I tell you on Seasons of the Heart? I think I did. That's one of the ones I want to finish. That's a pretty small one. All right. Next. This is by Carolyn Manning. It's called Star Touched Meadow. And it was a mystery. So you got a new one every month, and they're one for each month of the year. So this is the first one that came out. I didn't start it until long after the Stitch Along had started, but this is November. And I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. Each month has a flower that it represents. And this is chrysanthemum. I just love the bright colors. And this is a good one to take traveling. At least for me, when I'm traveling in the car, I don't have to worry about counting, you know, from one area to another. It all touches. I can stitch in the car just fine if the road is halfway decent. But if I have to count a bunch of stitches away, that gets a little trickier. So this is a great car one because everything touches. This is also one I want to finish this year because I really just have, I mean, that's the edge of it over here. This white is the edge. So I just have to fill in this and then continue this green all the way around. So I don't think I told you when I started this, March of 2024, and I did 3,403 stitches. And it is on 32 count water lily. All right. Next, this is an ink circles. I think this is my only ink circles I have going at the moment. This is called Tapestry. Beautiful, beautiful colors. I started this on July of 2023. This year I did 1,056 stitches. And this is on 32 count parchment by WIP Parade. And here is where it is. So I think before this year, I just had this middle part done, maybe these two things, and I did all of this year. It kind of washes out, but it's really beautiful, vibrant colors. But no plans to get that one done this year. But it's a fun one to work on. All right, getting there. 3 more. All right, next is one I just started last month. Sarah's Stitchery. She's doing a stitch along with Handmade by Sarah W. I think those are the two that are doing this. This is Winter Folk by Hands On Design. I have all 4 of these. And there was a Christmas one that came out at the Jingle Ball. I didn't get to do any shopping at the Jingle Ball. But my friend Michelle from Canada was so sweet, and she bought the Christmas one for me and had it sent to me. So it was a very nice surprise when I got home. So I did 445 stitches on this. And this is on the called for driftwood, hand dyed by Stephanie. So it's going to be a long one. But that is what I got done. Now this has some pearl cotton in 644, I think it is. And 1 spool like that is enough for all 4. And so it's here. You can see it better in person than you can on camera. It's really pretty. And it's fun because it's kind of in bands. So you feel like you're getting something accomplished when you finish a band. I don't have this on my list of ones to finish this year, but I would really like to. So we'll see. And I have, like I said, I have the other 3 seasons. And I have the board from Chantel's 141. This board that it's put on. I haven't stained mine yet, but I do have the board. So I can fully finish it someday when I get it stitched. And then you just attach it with magnets, and then you can use that board for all of them. All right, next one. This is an Autumn Lane Stitchery. Wait, is this it? Yeah. Where's my cover picture? Nope, I guess I don't have a cover picture for this. So I'll have to put in a picture of what it's going to look like. I think I did purchase this digitally. So this is Winter Friends by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I started it in January. This was my New Year, New Start last year. So January 1st, 2024. And it's on a 32 count helix, crystal helix. So it's got the metallic in it, which is always hard to show. Oh, you can kind of see. So I did 499 stitches. This would be a fun one to get out now and work on. It's a snowman. Oh well. Only so many hours in the day. Even retired, only so many hours in the day. All right, one more. It's my last full coverage. This is Woman in a Field of Flowers. I don't know which number it is. There's a bunch of these. This is from Stitches So Beautiful. And I started it in May of 2024. Good thing I'm about done. My throat's getting very dry. And I did 3,003 stitches on it this year. Again, started it diagonally, went to Royal Rose. We'll probably go back to, well, I did go back to diagonal when I worked on it this year. And I'm just starting to get some of the flowers in there. So that's exciting. No plans to finish that one this year, but I would like to work on it some more. Just a sneak peek, or just to tell you a little bit about my plans. So one of my favorite designers is Mirabilia, and I think I worked on one of hers this year. So I will do another video that shows you all of this, but just briefly, I've told you the ones here that I worked on in 2024 that I want to finish. So those will be focus on a finish list for me for this year. I did 2 WIP Go boards. So earlier last year, I had thought, excuse me, let me get a drink real quick. Okay. Earlier last year, I thought, well, I may not do WIP Go again. Because it kind of forced me to work on things when I maybe didn't want to. But I decided instead, I went 180 and I said, I'm not going to do one board, I'm going to do 2 boards. So I have one board that is full coverage to make sure I get some stitches in my full coverage projects. And I have less than will go on that I needed for the board. So I have them on there multiple times. I think my Psyche's Butterflies, the one I want to finish, that quick stitch, is on there several times. And then I did a board of Mirabilia because I have so many of those. And like I said, I didn't touch but one of them this last year. So I want to be sure I touch those. So that's kind of my plans. And I'll show you all of them. You'll see these full coverages again in my plan video. But that's my plan. So WIP Go, 2 boards, full coverage, Mirabilia. These focus on a finish. And then whatever else. So my WIP Go boards, my plan is just to work 5 hours or 500 stitches. And that will leave me plenty of time to work on other things. The other part that I have to work on this year is I joined the Heaven and Earth Design SAL, so the Hate SAL Stitch Along, and I'm doing Drinks on the Beach, and I did start it yesterday. That was my Jan 1 start for this year. We watched a lot of football yesterday, so I got a lot of stitching done. I think I did like 820 stitches yesterday, so I'll show you that in my plans. But that's just kind of a little brief overview of what I'm hoping to do in this year, 2025. We'll see. If it doesn't work, then I'll change and do something else. That doesn't bother me. But that's my plan for now. That's my WIP Parade. Just about an hour and a half, so not too bad. So we'll see if I can get it edited and get pictures added and actually uploaded to YouTube. That's always the challenge. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will hopefully see you soon with a plans video. Bye.